I'm Laurel. I'm a yoga and Pilates instructor, personal trainer, and functional mobility specialist. I really like working with bodies. Welcome to our 10-minute stretch for the full body today. All you need to do this is your body. If you have a yoga mat or a towel, go ahead and grab that now to help protect the bones, add a little bit of cushion for some of our stretches. And if you live in a tighter body, you're not quite so flexible, you might want to grab a pillow. So go ahead and get whatever you need now. And I really like these stretches because you can do them any time of day, first thing in the morning, after a workout, before you go to bed. Stretching is stretching, and there's no such thing as being too inflexible to stretch. That's like saying you're too dirty to take a bath. So, with that being said, let's get started. If you have a pillow and you'd like to use it, take your pillow and pop it under your butt to sit on. And let's go ahead and bring the soles of our feet together and start to wiggle the knees around a little bit. Just like a workout, we want to warm up a little bit before we stretch so that our muscles have a little bit more elasticity to them. They're not completely stiff. So I call this butterfly stretch, and we do it just to open up our hips, wiggle the muscles around a little bit. And now that we're here, take your fingertips either into the mat or the floor. Grow nice and tall, take a big breath in. And as you exhale, walk the fingertips forward as far as you can. It doesn't matter how far you can go. We want to try and round the upper body, the spine, as much as we can, and let our forehead just melt down towards the floor. Back of the neck is really long. And we're going to take a couple of deep breaths here. And with each exhale, I want you to relax something, whether that's your hips, your shoulders, your jaw. And we'll take 3 more deep breaths, letting our upper body help us get deeper into the stretch. And after your next breath, give your head a shake yes. And roll on up to sit. Roll the shoulders around, getting some movement there. I like to call it shrug and hug. We shrug our shoulders up by our ears and we hug them back and together. So let's try one more of those. We shrug our shoulders up by our ears, we hug them back and together. And then on the note of the shoulders, let's work into those a little bit more. Find your right hand, take it between your shoulder blades. And use your left hand to tuck the elbow behind your head as best you can. Now we have a tendency here to kind of want to grow small. Try and grow as tall as you can, pressing the back of the head into that arm. And you can either leave your left hand here to help you get deeper into it. If you're looking for a little deeper shoulder stretch, you want more, take the back of your left hand and slide it up your spine, working towards or touching the fingertips and maybe even clasping them. So let's take our deep breaths here. Keep growing taller. If you have stiff shoulders, this can be a difficult one, but it makes it that much more important to do. And 2 more breaths. And go ahead and release the arms, move the shoulders around, shrug and hug a few times. If sitting in butterfly is not comfortable anymore, you can come into a cross-legged seat or really any kind of seated position that's comfortable for you. And we'll do the other side. Take the left palm, place it between the shoulder blades. And you can either use the right hand to encourage that elbow back behind your head, or you can take the back of the right hand, slide it up your spine, continue to grow tall, working the fingertips towards clasping or touching. And if they can, it doesn't matter. As long as you're in some kind of position, you're doing the work, you're getting the stretch. 2 more breaths. And release it. And let's make our way into a quadrupled position. Quadrupled because we're on all 4 limbs. And start to take your knees mats width apart or wider. So I'll rotate around so you can see. So I want to take my knees really wide, preparing for what we call frog. So once the knees are wide, the big toes are gonna wanna come together, don't let them. We want our heels in line with our knees, and we're gonna start to rock backwards and forwards. So this is an active stretch. We're opening up our adductors, our inner thighs. And gentlemen, this is oftentimes a slightly harder stretch for you than it is for the ladies, so be patient with yourself. And as we do this, we want to continue kicking our feet out towards the side walls. Now go ahead and rock back, come down onto your forearms if you can. And as you do this, continue to press your tailbone back towards your heels, relaxing the fingers and toes, relaxing the shoulders. And we're going to take 5 breaths here. If you have the space, press a little bit further back. And then after your next breath, start to make your way onto your palms. Wiggle the knees back together, and let's circle the hips around to the left to start to work into the outer hips. And I'd like to see you on the tops of your feet so we can also stretch out the fronts of our ankles, making as big of a circle as you possibly can. And let's move around the other way to the right. My hips often make popping and cracking noises here as I do this. And so if yours do as well, that's completely fine. As long as it's not painful, then you want to reconsider what we're doing. And come back through center and extend your left leg back behind you. Step it up between the hands and then come up into what I call the proposal position, making sure that front ankle is underneath front knee. Take your hands to that thigh and start to drive your hips down towards the floor, chest lifts up. So let's work into it, make it active. We come back, we press the hips forward a little bit more. 2 more times, each time going a little bit deeper. And forward, last one, back and forward and hold. Give your glutes a squeeze to support the low back, maybe grow taller if you can. And then start to shift your weight back, release the hands down, and let's switch sides. Extend your right leg back behind you, step the foot up between the hands, knee is underneath ankle, we rise up. And we want to be feeling the stretch in the hip flexor and the quad, so the front of the back leg. And let's go ahead and make it active. We bend into it and shift back. Core is slightly engaged as well to protect the back. Bend into it and shift back. 2 more. If you're feeling unstable, you can always walk the front foot over to the side a little bit more, so to the right to give you some more space. And let's bend into it and hold, lengthening the line from your pubic bone to your chin, grow taller, squeeze of the tush. And shift the weight back, hands come down, give the hips a rock side to side, and then tuck your toes, press your hips up and back into downward facing dog. There might be a considerable amount of space between the floor and your heels, that's okay. Start to bend, alternating knees. And as we do this, we want to continue to press our hips up and back as much as we can, pushing the floor away from us to get a nice active hamstring stretch. And then walk your hands back to meet your feet, grab opposite elbow, rock side to side, letting the top of the head melt down towards the floor. And then switch the grip, grab opposite elbow on top, pull yourself even deeper, letting the weight of the arms help get you into the stretch. And release the elbows, make your way down to sit. We come into straight legs, reach your arms up, clasp the hands, pressing your palms up towards the ceiling. Big stretch over to the right, pressing away, letting the ear relax down towards the shoulder. And big stretch over to the left, other side. Come back through center, release the hands, walk the fingers down the legs, pulling ourselves into our last stretch of the day, letting the upper body round again, just like we did in butterfly. Shaking the head, yes. Taking one more big breath here. And then roll up to sit. Give the legs a wiggle, release everything. And that's our stretching for today. Thank you so much for joining me and have a wonderful rest of your day.